Hey guys, super cool talk today with Nick Bando, the founder of Bogeybox Golf Club. They're a Manhattan-based clothing online retailer, and they're really looking to disrupt that space. I was totally taken off guard in this conversation. Turns out Nick is a former VaynerMedia employee, so he lists Gary Vaynerchuk as a close personal friend, and we talked about my mission to play golf with Gary, and hopefully Nick's going to help me on my way there. But he shares some really cool stuff about his company, about what he's doing, and I think it's going to be of real value to you, especially as we move forward where people are doing more and more online, and these guys are really doing some innovative stuff. So hope it's of good value to you guys.
This is the Golf Essentials Podcast with Casey Borg.
Stumbled across your Instagram because I was going down a rabbit hole and saw that you're a Gary Vaynerchuk guy.
Oh man, I love it. I love his stuff.
Yeah.
Big time. Are you into it or?
So he's actually a very close friend. I worked at VaynerMedia for 4 years, and he's actually our first investor to launch our business. So
wow, that's super cool.
Yeah, I worked at paid media department over there at Vayner, and that was kind of like early days, 2011, early Facebook, Twitter, Instagram ads, and we ended up kind of as a part of my day-to-day role, which was consulting for clients, ended up consulting for some of his startup businesses that he was investing in, and kind of got the bug to start my own thing.
That's cool. I mean, that's what he talks about. That's what he wants out of his team, right?
I know. He's amazing, man. Because I would kind of nights and weekends had some inventory that I just kept at the office, and he was totally cool about it. Him and his brother AJ were so accommodating. I told them kind of what I wanted to do, and they said, "Yeah, just do it. Don't let it affect your 9 to 5, but
right,
if you want it." So I couldn't have asked.
That's so cool.
Most bosses would be like, "No chance. You can't do that. You can't use our space. You can't use resources." But those guys are amazing. It's cool to everything the guy says, he totally preaches. So I love that about him.
Yeah, that's what resonates with me. I mean, what he talks about is what he's doing, and like exponentially. I don't know if I don't know how far down the rabbit hole you've gotten into any of my stuff, but did you see any of the part about so his goal is to buy the Jets, and my goal, and probably just as hard, to be honest, is to play a round of golf with Gary V.
Oh, no way. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Make that happen, man. We'll make that happen. Gary hates golf, so that's the hardest issue.
I think there's a number of issues, right? I mean, value of his time. That's what he values the most, and he doesn't really like golf. Although he does play a little bit, right? He has played here and there. So
AJ is really into golf. Honestly, AJ and I connected over golf. Ended up playing a ton. So his younger brother is a big golf guy, obsessed. And I think the only time Gary's actually played a full round is he was, this is a weird story. We were in Atlantic City. He was a judge on Miss America in Atlantic City. And so we went down 2 days before. And so he had like a day of downtime and then ended up coming out and playing golf with us. But that was the one time I think I've ever seen him play.
My mission got that much harder just now. I thought he was sort of okay about playing some golf, so that's even harder. But yeah. So
well, I love that this is your mission. We're gonna make this happen. All right. I'm your guy.
It's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where are you based, Casey?
I'm in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
My wife and I have an online marketing web development agency. And I got a phone call from a longtime friend of mine named John Brown a little while back, and he had built up Brown Golf Management, a golf management company. And he said, and he sold off his shares to his boys, and but he's like, I don't want to be retired anymore. I want to do it again. So he and I and a couple other partners were KPI Golf Management, which is more data driven, helping underperforming golf clubs out there, you know?
Yeah, I listened to the episode, myself and my business partner listened to the episode with John.
Oh, cool.
And we loved what you guys were doing with KPI. And part of the reason that I reached out as well was, I think one of the things that we've seen, we've got a online retail golf business that is doing things a little bit differently. We've got this home try-on model, and a lot of the things that you guys talked about, specifically the leveraging golf lessons as a way to build community, is something that struck a chord with me, because we've tried a lot of ways to think outside of the box, to do things that are a little bit more progressive to attract customers, and then think of our business as a much more akin to a country club membership than just a online retail destination. So a lot of the things that you guys were talking about resonated with me a ton, and I was like, I've got to reach out to these guys and connect, because they seem to have the same kind of mentality of doing things differently in an industry that historically kind of rinse and repeat the same things that have always been done. Definitely slower to adapt.
Well, I think, you know, what's really interesting to me is, by nature of the model, right? You guys have a little bit of skin in the game, and because of that, your interests are aligned with your customer perfectly, right? So
absolutely,
you're not pushing crap on them, right? You're both having the interest of, all right, I don't want to send you a bunch of shit for nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to throw stuff at you that you don't want. I want to throw stuff at you that you'll consider, you know? And
there's the other thing to that point is, if you don't want a box, we don't want to send you one. If you don't need clothing, we're not forcing you into this model where, like, oh, we're going to ping your card, and like, you know, that is a horrible experience. I don't need clothing at the beginning of every month. We do have clients that shop with us monthly. We've got some clients that shop with us quarterly, and some that just shop with us once a year. It should be an on-demand experience based on your needs. So yeah, that is exactly right. You know, it doesn't serve us well to just be forcing product on people. It really is our place to just make the whole process of buying clothes incredibly convenient and enjoyable for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, this is really interesting, man. As a customer, I sign up, I indicate the type of clothing that I'm interested in a general sense. And then I indicate what sort of cadence you guys are going to send me clothing packages effectively. And then as I provide you feedback, it becomes a more intelligent exchange. Is that accurate?
You bet. And one other, two things. One, I want to have you go through the process, and we'll send you out, go through the full process so you can experience the full thing. But the one other element to that process is, when you sign up and fill out your style profile and your information, we actually, before we ship you out a box, it's not a blind shipment. We actually curate an email for you to review. So we say, look, here's an email of 5 items that, based on the information that you put, your sizing, style preferences, here's what we were thinking of sending to you. And you can either say, hey, look, I'm all set right now, or hey, Nick, I'm going on a trip to Scotland. Can you swap out some of the polos for outerwear pieces? And so it's a quick gut check for us to say, what we're sending you is much more in line with what you're interested in trying, or what you need. I think one of the things that you'll see in other retail models, or these box of the month companies, when it's a complete surprise and it's totally random, that might work for other product categories. But when it comes to clothing, obviously fit is paramount, but also your personal preference is another big component, because it's an expression of how you want to represent yourself. And so that preview process for us is pretty pivotal, and I think is a layer of personal touch that no one else is willing to go through the headache of doing. It's a very time consuming process, but for us, it's really it's about that personal service and experience.
Right.
The idea started with my own personal problem, which is I hate shopping for clothing. I'm 5'8", I'm a little bit stockier. And so, your standard size clothing just doesn't fit me well. And the store, the whole experience of going to the store, I hated. It's just like a total, there's a laundry list of things that I would rather do. Shopping for clothing is absolutely at the rock bottom.
Likewise.
And so, that pain point, I said to myself, there's got to be a better way to do this. I looked around in the marketplace, and one thing that I loved personally that I saw kind of gaining steam was, this Amazon Prime membership. You pay a certain amount at the beginning of the year, you get these amazing perks, free shipping, free returns, which kind of de-risks the shopping experience when buying online. And I thought to myself, the most crucial piece when buying clothing is really about fit. If you're buying, if I go to Ralph Lauren's website and I look at their medium, they've got, their medium standard or their medium slim. I have to purchase that. I'm then paying for shipping for it to come to my house. And if it doesn't fit me perfectly, I then have to pay for shipping to send it back. So I'm taxed for an experience that, the hope of online was that I can avoid the trip to the mall, right? But the actual experience for online is there's this hidden tax and frankly, just pain point. It's frankly annoying. I'm busy. And the last thing again that I want to be doing is shopping for clothing. So that with that pain point in mind, did a bunch of research, and figured out pretty quickly, I'm not the only guy who hates shopping. And what we uncovered even further in the golf industry is that you've got kind of a bifurcation of what golf brands do. They try to either cater to a 50 plus crowd that might be a little bit leaning towards standard sizing, or you've got this like European fit crowd with I almost think of Jay Lindeberg is the first brand that comes to mind, where their medium is really like a child extra small. I mean, it's, so the entire idea for the business is, hey, let's make shopping incredibly convenient, incredibly easy to find the right fit, have kind of ultimate choice of what you want to buy in this really almost membership model. Like I mentioned, similar to kind of a country club white glove experience. And at the end of the day, the customer has all the control. They can keep anything they want. They're only paying for what they keep. There's free shipping, free returns. And for us, it's a play on satisfaction. If you love the experience and it's really easy to shop for clothes, the hope is that you would keep coming back to, that club. And so we really think of ourselves more as a club than just like an online golf apparel retailer. So started with that idea, and realized very quickly it's very time consuming and expensive business to run, but found out, again, like my background was in performance marketing online, was running a ton of Facebook. This was in, like 2014, and had a ton of success and realized, look, like we can acquire customers really quickly, but we found actually through this process that, a younger consumer didn't value the time convenience and the style convenience as much as a consumer who might be 35 plus, has kids, makes a little bit more money every day, has a little less time every day. And for them to receive this shipment at home was huge. It really, really solved a pain point. And so we found our product market fit being a little bit older customer, and surprisingly enough, actually members at clubs, private, semi-private clubs. And so they have options to buy, their logoed goods for their club, but they still have this clothing need, whether it's pants and shorts, whether it's outerwear, whether it's completely non-golf apparel, things they're wearing to the office. And so we've really built just our sweet spot with that customer who loves the convenience of our service, loves the white gloves, element of they have a personal stylist sending them, really one-to-one options every month. No two boxes that we've ever sent to clients have been the same. Every single one is customized. And, we took a technology approach to that. We've got a lot of data that helps us with that part of the business, with sizing customers correctly, with, predicting what customers will and won't like. Let's say we sent you a box and you gave us feedback that, hey, I don't like horizontal stripes. Our entire business is built around the notion that we're not going to send you horizontal stripes in the future. And it's really that one-to-one connection that gets better over time. So the questions that I guess on the club management side, when it comes to merchandising, with the clubs that you guys plan to target or work with KPI, is it typically in that value clubs range? Like, I'm curious to know how you guys define different clubs and how you guys look at that.
Our world is going to be focused on helping clubs which are underperforming, and the ones that are typically in competitive marketplaces where they may be the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh club in that marketplace. And as the economy, becomes a little less frothy, to use a Vaynerchuk word, when the economy corrects and these baby boomers start aging out in the next few years, 5-10 years, those are the clubs that are going to be really fighting for their survival. And that's our sweet spot. So, and if you listen to our episode where John was talking about some of the solutions, in particular, using things like deploying free golf lessons at your facility, and using that as a marketing tool. There's a number of out of the box ways of thinking of things that we know works. John has done this in different places at other clubs that he's managed and things. This is one that could very well be on that list. Interesting stuff, man. Hey guys, I'm all about bringing value, so shoot me all of the questions that you have. cbork@pga.com. If you like the stuff, be sure to share it and subscribe on whatever channels you're watching it on. Apple Podcasts, Google Casts, any of those channels. You should be able to subscribe easily so you get every episode. Thanks, guys.